Hi, and it's great to be here with you all. Sadly, this is not my comfort zone, getting in front of audiences and giving these sorts of presentations, but two things continue to force me to be here. And the first is my understanding that poverty is a policy choice. Let me repeat, poverty is a policy failure, not a personal failure. Federal and state governments, philanthropy, and the nonprofit sector continue to ignore the lack of investment that perpetuates the cycles of poverty. Instead, they concentrate on the symptoms, which ties to my second reason to being here, my children. I have three, ages 5, 10, and 12. And by the time they're my age, we can solve the issue for them. We can pull tens of millions of people out of poverty immediately. We can do even better than that. We can put them on a course to build wealth and address the inequalities that plague our country and position them to deal with a new set of problems, not the ones that we've been battling for decades. So how do we do this? We need to recognize the solution to poverty lies in our biggest resource, people. Every day, people who struggle with financial hardship are finding ways to overcome their economic condition, yet we do not see it or invest in it. To do so, we need a new formula for wealth redistribution in the US. Now, this is not a new idea, although it's supposed to be a big, great idea. It already exists today. The one that exists today benefits the already wealthy, mostly white, top 20% earners of our population. Those households receive about 70 times as much support from wealth-building programs as do households in the bottom 20%. We're driving hundreds of billions of dollars to the already wealthy, leaving the rest to fight for crumbs. The result of this formula is a widening wealth inequality and a large racial wealth gap. Now, before I move forward, let's make sure that we're clear on the subject of what is wealth. Wealth is the measure of an individual's or a household's net worth and a key indicator for economic well-being. It allows people to build community, celebrate their culture. It provides the capital to start a business, go back to school, or leave school debt-free. Wealth pays for expensive medical procedures, as well as transitions between jobs and the ability to withstand emergencies. Wealth is passed down between generations. Yet as a sector, wealth inequality is rarely addressed when discussing economic mobility, even though income and wealth are both key indicators of financial security and economic mobility. This is especially true for those most affected by decades of racist policy of disinvestment, African American and Latina households. Even if incomes rise for them, the racial wealth gap leaves many of these households in vicious cycles of economic struggles. The billions of dollars per year spending to solve poverty is not moving the needle. Take TANF. Little more than 1/5 of TANF dollars provides basic assistance to families as it was intended. Instead, it is used for programs and services. States have way too much flexibility in how they spend these funds. Some states even use them for sports arena and college scholarships for middle-class families. Others don't use these dollars at all. Not to mention that most traditional welfare systems that include TANF penalize people if they make too much money. We are deliberately trapping people in poverty through our policy decisions. We have to smash the narrative that people are to blame for their financial situation. We need a redistribution of wealth that recognizes people for their strengths and their contributions. And because racist and deficit-based policies are responsible for creating the wealth gap, equity-centered policies are needed to solve them. Now, these equity-centered and reparative policies can include, but are not limited to, reforms in income and estate taxation, taxation on wealth and inheritance, baby bonds pegged to household wealth, as well as reparations. We need a system committed to repairing the harms that are the root cause of today's wealth inequalities. Now, at Up Together, we're proving this every day. We provide capital and choice centered in community, and we have learned that people thrive when they receive unrestricted cash to invest in their own lives, because giving people cash works. The 2021 expanded child tax credit lifted over 3 million children out of poverty overnight. When it ended, we put them right back in. Close to 100 guaranteed income pilots across the U.S. show people find their pathway to economic mobility with the added investment. We need to shift to investing in people with the same vigor we currently invest in programs. And if we do this, poverty will no longer be a policy choice, and I'll never have to stand in front of you all again, and I get to spend more time with my children. Thank you so much.